Hello and welcome to Dessert Time. Now, this is a recipe that was inspired by one of my students from last year who always sends me pictures of pastries and things she eats. And she sent me this picture of something she called a Maritozzo. I was like, what is a Maritozzo? And you'd think I'd know. I'm from Europe. It's an Italian thing. But I had never run into it before. So I started playing around. And I wanted to make it myself because I bought some here at a local little cafe. They had them. It's kind of hard to find them, but now they're starting to get really popular here in Osaka. They're starting to pop up everywhere. But the one that I had, I didn't really, it was okay, but the bun I thought was a little hard for what's the filling inside. So these are made with a bit more soft buns, so it's easier to eat without the cream shooting out all over the place. And then the inside is like, it's basically like a tiramisu, but you know, sometimes a real tiramisu, you use eggs and stuff like that. Some people don't want to use raw eggs and you got to coddle them and all. It's a lot of hard work. I use whipped cream and mascarpone, and it's delicious. So let's have a look at one. Look at that. You dust them. You can dust them with a little bit of cocoa powder just to make them look fancier. Doesn't really matter. It tastes good without. Yeah, see, that soft bun, it's a lot easier to bite into that without shooting cream all over the place. Oh, and that is delicious. Yeah, that's really nice. Go in the kitchen and make some right now. All right, so making our Maritozzo is pretty simple. What we've got here for ingredients, well, over here across the front, I've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I've got a 1/4 cup of icing sugar, 8 ounces or 230 grams of mascarpone cheese, and kind of let that sit out at room temperature a little bit so it's softer. I've got 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. Now in this case, I'm using a really heavy cream. I'm using 47%, which I use in summer a lot anyways because it just, you know, it's hard to whip up a lighter cream in the heat. But also, I like to use the 47 for this because it whips up stiffer. So you have a good strong whipped cream, and then when you mix this in, it's all going to hold together well. Here I got 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. That's just for dusting after, it's for looks more than anything else. And across here, I've got 6 soft rolls. Now these ones here are actually called butter rolls, or sometimes they're called hotel rolls. They're just a nice soft roll. And I don't want anything too crunchy. Sometimes I've seen the Maritozzo, yeah, you know, those things. With a harder, like I had one the other day that was more hard, but then you go to bite into it, you're trying to fight to keep the cream inside from shooting out all over the place. So I like a soft roll like this. Now, what we're going to do is just put the soft rolls off to one side, because first thing I want to do is I want to whip the whipped cream. So I'm going to put this in here. Yes, look how creamy that is. It just hangs on there. Let's see if we get it all out of there. All right, and then I'm going to start whipping it, frothing it up for a little bit, and then I'm going to start adding in the icing sugar and the vanilla. We have electrical problems. We've had a little bit of a problem with this over here. There we go. All right, now let's start adding in the icing sugar. And the vanilla. Now, you're going to keep beating this until we get stiff peaks. See you then. All right. It turns real quick on you. And there we go. Nice and stiff. Okay, so I'm going to get some of that off there. I don't want to waste any of that. That was good. All right, a little left on there for the beater liquor. Okay, now what I want to do is add in the mascarpone. So, gotta make sure that's good and soft. Cream around a little bit in there. and plop it in. And then just going to start blending it, pulling it through the whipped cream, through the mascarpone. Just kind of lift and turn and go around. Just kind of make sure you're getting it all, cutting it in so that it's all combined together. That looks like it's pretty well done. So now we got the buns. And let's grab a big plate here, put them on. So you grab one. Oh. And just load it on there. We got a lot of this on there. Just kind of bring it around. I gotta keep that outside edge kind of nice and smooth so we can powder it with the icing sugar, or with the cocoa powder. All right, so what we're gonna do now, just make sure we divvy that up amongst all these buns. All right, that's pretty even amongst all of them. What I'm gonna do now is grab my little thin spatula and just, as I put this down, smooth around the edge. So I'm gonna go around like this. Give it that nice finished look. Look at that. Just keep doing that until they're all looking nice and smooth and perfect. Or close to perfect. They look delicious. That's all that matters. All right, well, that's the final one. Now, the final touch is to add a little bit of a dusting of cocoa powder. So it's going to be a sifter like this. You can do this any other way, like with a little sieve or something. I had a little sifter here, but I have to be careful with the sifter because it really piles them on otherwise. So just going to kind of give it a touch. There we go. Oh, that's looking nice. All right, and there we go. Maritozzo. Enjoy some. All right, if you like this recipe, stick around. There's a lot more original Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen recipes here on the YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe because there's a new one coming out every Monday. If you're not yet a patron of Kuma's Kitchen, well, please consider becoming one because for just as little as $3 a month, you can be supporting the creation of all kinds of original recipe videos coming up here on YouTube. Now, go make these delicious little Maritozzo and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.